But Chicago's mayor, dragging around an almost incomprehensibly low 14% approval rating, has concluded that he just needed more unquestioning loyalists in his administration. And we are back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. You already know it helps us out a ton. And it helps you because it helps us. It helps us keep bringing you this outstanding content. Now, y'all, today what we're going to cover is we're going to follow up on a story from earlier this week, where the mayor of Chicago, his name is Brandon Johnson, y'all, and he has, let's say, approval ratings. Let's say they are abysmal. We can use that vocabulary word today. His approval ratings are abysmal, and he has decided that it's time to clean house. He says that there are people in his administration who are holdovers from a previous administration, and he says, look, if you're not with me, you got to go. And so heads have started to roll, y'all. As of now, there have been at least 3 people in his administration who have resigned or who have taken posts in other parts of the government. And people are wondering, is all of this part of Mayor Johnson cleaning house? Now, just to circle back around, y'all, I'd like to remind you, the reason why we're covering Mayor Johnson right now is because it's not really because of his local Chicago politics and back and forth. It's because he has stepped forward to become a central figure in the struggle of state power versus federal power. And so we're covering some of these small vicissitudes, these small backs and forth of what's happening with him, because he is now a national player. If you did not know, he's going to be going to testify before Congress next month about his sanctuary city policies. And as I've said in previous videos, and I will continue to say, he has decided to use the political capital that his voters, his residents, and his citizens in his city, he's decided to use that political capital that they've given him and spend it on people who the federal government wants to grab and kick out of the country for being in the country without permission. Now, here we have this editorial by the Chicago Tribune, and it says, Brandon Johnson, brooking no diversity of opinion, summons his inner Donald Trump. So as you can see, y'all, here this editorial is going to make a comparison that I tiptoed around making in my video, because I said I don't like playing the game of what if this had been somebody else and all that stuff. But since this editorial is going to do it for me, well, I guess we can get into it. It says Chicago's mayor is taking precisely the wrong lessons from his administrative failures. Quote, if you ain't with us, you just gotta go. If we gave you one guess which politician said that the other day, a solid percentage of you might have well answered Donald Trump. But no, it was Chicago's self-described, quote, collaborator-in-chief, end quote, Mayor Brandon Johnson. At a forum at a South Side church, the mayor was asked, now that he's nearing the midpoint of his term, whether he would have done anything differently in the first 2 years. There were many, so many answers he could have given. He could have said, for example, he wouldn't have pushed so hard for a taxpayer-subsidized Chicago Bears stadium on the lakefront, rather than petitioning Springfield for help for schools or his other priorities. He could have said he wouldn't have proposed a massive property tax hike less than 2 years after promising on the campaign trail that he wouldn't raise property taxes at all. But Chicago's mayor, dragging around an almost incomprehensibly low 14% approval rating, has concluded that he just needed more unquestioning loyalists in his administration.
Within an hour this afternoon, we learned of 2 high-profile departures of city commissioners whose work is central to public safety. They come 3 days after provocative comments by the mayor about his desire to root out disloyalty in his administration. Jamie Rhee has been a City Hall fixture through 4 mayoral administrations, and as aviation commissioner was tasked with overseeing O'Hare's expansion and modernization.
Because that's an ongoing project that Jamie Rhee has had a lot of ownership of, and now you're going to change course in the middle of that. That raises questions about what that's going to mean for that project.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, in a statement, said Rhee embodied the best of public service. Rhee said, "I am eternally grateful for the opportunities that have been afforded to me." But questions have been raised about the timing of Rhee's retirement, following the mayor's comments Monday night about certain administration holdovers.
I would have cleaned house faster. So there's a whole bunch of people like, oh, shoot, who's about to get fired? Well, you're about to find out. Stay tuned.
The mayor's office did not respond to our questions about who the mayor was referring to. Alderman Brian Hopkins says he spoke to Rhee after the announcement.
She wasn't indicating that this was her time frame. She would have liked to have stayed on to complete the terminal project, to complete the new gates.
Less than an hour after Rhee's announcement, the mayor's office said OEMC Executive Director Jose Tirado was also leaving to take a job, we later learned, with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, a move in the works for weeks. But Tirado's departure clouded by the mayor's comments. Rich Gaitis, Johnson's former chief of staff, says he was unaware of any disloyalty in the administration.
I can't see any commissioner taking politics into their job and not giving it 100% of their job every day on a daily basis.
Today, we also learned the head of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, Andrea Kirsten, is also resigning. She's been under fire for allegations of anti-police bias. Her replacement will be appointed by the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability.
If there was something I could change or do differently, I would just reset. I would have cleaned house faster, Johnson said, adding the line we're sure many voters will recall 2 years from now when presumably Johnson is running for re-election. Quote, "If you ain't with us, you just gotta go." So y'all, you know that the other day when I covered this, I was alluding to the fact that listen, Johnson is on a particular side. We have two main sides in this country, and then we have a group of people in the middle that we might call independents or swing voters or whatever we're going to call them, right? But we have two main sides, the left, the right, the Democrats, the Republicans, the liberals, the conservatives. These are two kind of big sides that we have. And one of the main criticisms that each side has for each other is that they're intolerant and that they insist on things being their way. Now, you might think that I would say, well, only the Democrats or only the left is saying that about Donald Trump. Yes, they are saying that about Donald Trump, but that is not the only side making that accusation, because the right is accusing the left. Hey, look, if I want to say this, if I want my house to run this way, if I want my school to run this way, if I feel this way, you guys are canceling us. Okay, so that's the same kind of criticism of intolerance. And so both sides are kind of lobbing these bombs across the aisle at each other. But I would say this, if you hear in the media this criticism, right? Donald Trump is the person, if there's a single person in this country who is criticized for being, if you're not with me, you're against me. If there's one person who gets the most criticism of that in this country, it's probably Donald Trump. So to see a Democratic mayor take that exact stance, which people might call authoritarian, people would call dictator, people would have all these types of terms for this, right? To see a Democratic mayor basically come out and embody that exact type of principle is quite interesting. And I think some people are alarmed, y'all, particularly when you have a 14% approval rating. But I'd like to hear what y'all have to say, okay? We saw the mayor say that he was going to start cleaning house. Now we see people starting to depart the house that he has made. And it's left, it really leaves us wondering, what's next. So what do you all think? Particularly my Chicago people. Let me know in the comments, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video out with all your peoples. Thank you for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.